Welcome to Off the Chalk, where we help you build competitive lineups on Fanduel. This is episode week 7, Sunday main slate. I'm your host, Ryan Hashe, joined by Mike Money Team 10, who spends hours doing research so that we don't have to. Welcome to the show, buddy. Cheers.
What's going on?
Ready for some Sunday football.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
first things first. I've got my RotoGrinders entry ready here. Why don't we talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, just this is my favorite tournaments going on here. It's a single entry championship. There's 3 ways to enter. There's 3 different tournaments that you can get into. There's the $5 spike, $33 sweep, and then I think there's a $100 entry as well. They're all single entry tournaments.
So just so everybody watching knows, Mike's a little bit biased, and we're talking about this RotoGrinders tournament because he ended up taking it down one year. What year is that? A couple of years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago now.
So what's first prize win? And is it still the same amount?
Yeah, it's the same amount as 2 years ago. If you do qualify for the championship, it's a 1 in 6 chance at 10 grand for first place. So you're splitting a 20 grand prize pool. I think it's 10 to first, 5 to second.
Nice.
So and all the way up to, I think everyone gets paid. So 6th place gets $500.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And at what point did you decide, yeah, I'm in this. I'm really going for this? Like, were you playing the tournaments just kind of because they were there, or?
Yeah, I always play single entry. I think this is your best shot at winning. It's just your best lineup against everyone else's. So you avoid the $250 multi-entries or the 250 multi-entry lineups. So single entry is the way I go anyways. So yeah. I'm going to play these tournaments regardless. It's good that the RotoGrinders is that extra incentive.
Yep. So after it's all said and done, the top 6 go on to play for the 20 grand. And then there's a bunch of other little bonuses that are just extra bonuses. Like there's an additional entry. Do you know what tournaments that is?
Yeah, I think depending on which entry you're in, the $5, the 33, or the 100, they pay out so many different places, and it's like you win a $250 entry into the World Football Fantasy Championships. So nice. It's an entry into a tournament with a value $250, and then after that, I think they hand out
$9.
Yeah, the $9 Sunday Million. So, anyways, it doesn't cost you any extra money. If you're entering these tournaments weekly anyways, which I think you should be, or at least the $5 for sure. If you're just playing low money, the $5 like the best tournament that I would recommend.
Perfect. Well, that's what I got dialed up here. So let's rock and roll. We're going to format this. Mike's going to give us the research on his top pick in the category. Then we're going to get a medium.
Wait. Did you want to mention, did you cash on Thursday night with that lineup?
Oh yeah. Yeah. How could I possibly forget that?
Yeah.
I definitely did. I definitely cashed. I didn't remember. I got busy and I didn't switch out Shepard, was it?
Well, switch in. Like we had talked about.
Switch in because he was injured. I left him out when we did the video. And I never ended up getting him in, but he did play, and he ended up on the winning lineup. So,
which was the same. Like if you had just switched out Ingram for Shepard, we talked about, like that lineup took down a bunch of tournaments. And if you played the one that we had on the show, like no matter what tournament you're in, you're gonna cash. So
yeah, and I cashed with the lineup that I just left from the show.
Yeah, I didn't switch for Shepard either. I was at my son's soccer game and just didn't pull the switch. That's too bad.
I mean, that's just it could have went the other way too, but
no, it would have.
Anyway, okay, so our format is going to be, we're going to get Mike's picks for top QB, middle of the road QB, and then value pick for QB, dark horse. And we're going to do it in each category. I don't know what we're going to call that.
Well, position.
Sorry. Position. What did I say?
Category.
Each category.
That's all right.
Yeah, you can tell I'm in the tech industry. Each category, each menu item. Yeah, so each position we're gonna go top, middle, and value. Yeah.
Yep.
So let's start right off and go with the QBs. Well, who do you like? Who's the big dog?
Well, there's a bunch of big dogs at the top that like you can make a case for any of them. Patrick Mahomes against Denver. I think all of these guys are going to get some ownership. You're going to have to just decide who you think is the best one and go with them. You can go a bunch of ways. I like Russell Wilson a lot, and so I'm really fighting right now between whether I go Wilson or Kyler Murray. But I ultimately decided on Kyler Murray. I just think the rushing upside. I mean, Russ will run too, but I think the upside of Kyler's legs. And I mean, like, if you look at last Thursday, I mean, Kyler Murray, like, couldn't have played a worse game. He had 9 completions. Like, I think his lowest before that was 23. If you just pull up his game logs, Kyler Murray's. I think
slacking here.
I don't know.
Controls.
It doesn't matter. I think it was 23 or something like that. So, I mean, he had never completed less than 23 completions in a game, against Detroit. And it's not showing – Fanduel is not doing the updates yet, but against Dallas, he had 9 completions, and he put up 28 fantasy points. So, I mean, the ceiling for Kyler, I think, is just the highest. His price tag of $8,400. Seattle has been, like – if not, I think they're second only to they're bad. I think the Falcons are a little worse, but like Seattle's giving up a bunch. So Kyler's the play for me for $8,400. It's a little cheaper than Russ, cheaper than Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. So number 1 quarterback of the week for me for the high dollar guys is Kyler Murray.
Awesome. Okay, who's middle of the road pick?
So this week, I kind of like the rookie. I'm going for $7,500. I'm going with Herbert. Playing at home against Jacksonville Jaguars. He's been throwing the ball well. He's just coming off a bye week. So for $7,500, playing at home, I'm going Justin Herbert.
Sweet. Any particular reason in that matchup? Playing at home.
Yeah, no, he's definitely they're in the bottom, just outside, worse than half. I think they're ranked 21st against the pass, so they're pretty bad altogether, right? So I really looked hard at the running backs this week in playing for the Chargers. They're in a really good spot, but ultimately, like, if you watch Jackson and you watch Joshua Kelly, I know they got great matchups this week, but I just don't think they're that good at running the football. So they're projected to score a lot of points, and I think it's going to be through the air with Herbert. It looks like Keenan Allen's going to play. You'll see my tight end pick from later is got something to do with this game too. So
All right. Well, let's move on. Let's move on to the dark horse or the value pick.
And not much. Yeah, not much further down, but I don't know how much cheap you're willing to go on a quarterback, but for myself, I'm comfortable right around that $7,100 for Joe Burrow. I think playing at home, he's playing the first team that he's going to see twice in his rookie career. So they face each other week 2, Cleveland. So Joe Burrow's going to see this Cleveland secondary for the second time. They're not a really good secondary. He added the most fantasy points he's had all year against them the first time around. So, I like Joe Burrow. Joe Mixon's not playing this week. I'm going to talk about that in a couple minutes. So I just think that, he's got the opportunity to throw multiple touchdown passes, he can run them in himself too. Playing in a high total game, like I love this game between Cleveland and Cincinnati. So Joe Burrow for $7,100, I'm gonna have in my lineups.
I like it. All right. Anything you want to mention before we move on to running backs?
I need a beer.
Well, I can't really help you with that, but I'm going to definitely enjoy mine while you stew about that.
I didn't think this one out. No, I'm good. Let's go right into the running backs.
Okay.
This has been interesting, right? Like, I'm a big Alvin Kamara guy. I think he's the best running back in football. He's in an amazing matchup this week against Carolina. New Orleans has lost. Michael Thomas is not going to play this weekend. Emmanuel Sanders is not going to play now. He's going to get it on the ground. He's going to get passes. So Alvin Kamara is number one. And
so he's going to smash.
Yes, Ryan. I think so.
He's going to smash it like you're going to smash the like button and the subscribe and the bell icon. Ring it. Okay, keep going.
Yes. That I know $9,300 is hard to pay for, but with some of the value plays that are like becoming available here near the end of the week, I think I can fit him in comfortably and still get a good lineup around him. So for $9,300, I love Alvin Kamara. And then the other guy up there was Aaron Jones. Man, I was all set to be, playing a ton of Aaron Jones for this weekend. He's got, the best matchup you can have for a running back. Green Bay's coming off a pretty crummy loss against the Bucs that you thought they were going to bounce back, and it could have been a better position for Aaron Jones. But this calf injury that's making him a game time decision is really it's gotten me off of Jones, but it's really opened up a ton of value, which I'll talk about in a sec here. But it's made it an interesting week, that's for sure, having these running backs get hurt here on a Friday.
So you're saying Aaron Jones is like a potential if he plays, or is he...
Well, he's a game time, like he wasn't on the injury report all week, right? So it's kind of concerning to have like a guy just show up on the injury report for the first time on Friday, which is a lot of times like some sort of walkthrough. And so for this calf injury out of nowhere on a Friday, and he's a true game time decision, like even if he does play, like I could tell you from experience, there's nothing worse than, thinking a guy's good to go because, they say he's a game time decision. They declare him active. He's going to play. If you play that guy and then he never sees the field ever, that he was just activated for emergency reasons, like it's the worst. So
yeah. So stay away
for me,
Aaron Jones.
I'm not touching him.
A big avoid Aaron Jones warning.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can get like that.
I just didn't want to get confused with him being the middle of the road pick here.
No, he's not my middle of the road pick.
Okay.
He just was who I was debating with Kamara the entire week. Which one I was going to go.
Gotcha.
But ultimately, I was going to go Jones until today, and now at this point, like it could totally blow up in my face. Like if he plays, he could still do good. But I don't know. I guess I wouldn't be willing to risk it.
Okay.
For middle of the road pick though for running back this week for I think $7,100, Kareem Hunt. It's my favorite play on the entire weekend. He's in Kareem Hunt.
Ring the bell. Ring the bell. Ring the bell. Do we have a bell? Let's ring it. This is the favorite play. Yeah, we need like a board. Pew, pew, pew. Favorite play. Mike's favorite play of the week.
Yeah.
Okay. Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
Why?
I just think, I don't know. It's crazy that he's still $7,100. If he played for, I feel like if he played for the Chiefs still, he would be this, in the top 3 for highest salary on the week. Like I don't understand how this guy is $7,100. He's gonna see the ball a ton. He's gonna do catches, runs. Like Kareem Hunt is just my favorite play. And if I'm wrong, like I'd be shocked. I'm going to have Kareem Hunt on almost every lineup I run out. I just feel like he's in that good of a spot. He's not priced correctly. And, like, it's just too good of a value.
All right. Ring the bell on Kareem Hunt. Where's the
Yeah.
dark horse? Who's the
Like,
the sleeper pick?
so this goes I got kind of two here. So for $4,800, first of all, like I'm definitely going to have some exposure to him, but Gio Bernard is going to get a ton of work, and mainly because I think that Cleveland is going to really get out to a lead in this one, and Giovanni Bernard is going to have the opportunity, just like we saw on Thursday night with Boston Scott. He's going to catch some footballs. He's going to get some runs. I mean, this Joe Mixon injury is huge, so I love Giovanni Bernard this week for $4,800.
I mean, a guy with a stash like that, how can you not like him?
Absolutely. You can't have that pitcher and then
I'm going
nothing.
Gio Bernard just for the aggressive stash. I love it. All right, so with an asterisk, and I've got a feeling this is going to have something to do with Aaron Jones.
Yeah, it is. And I could definitely make an argument for going Jamal Williams as the backup because, like, as much as I can't stand Jamal Williams, but Matt LaFleur just keeps putting him on the field. So you are going to have to worry about Jamal Williams probably starting and being in there a little more than you'd like him to be. But I think ultimately for $4,500, AJ Dillon is going to get a chance to show what he's about. I mean, Green Bay with Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams, they still decided to spend a second-round pick on AJ Dillon this year in the draft. So they think this guy's got potential to be good. He came in garbage time last week when the game was really over against the Bucs. And, stat line 5 for 31 doesn't look monstrous. He looked good out there. So for $4,500, if Aaron Jones is not playing, I'm going to have AJ Dillon. It could be one of those where I'm screaming at the coach at the TV, like, put your better player in, but hopefully
I mean,
not.
that's
Like,
what the long shot sleeper picks are all about, right?
No, not to me, actually. Like, I look at these value plays, like, there's a ton of, like, decent value this week. And, like, if I'm putting these guys into my lineup, like, I'm not just thinking that it's just to save money. Like, these guys have really legitimate chances of producing. So
yeah, but I mean, like, sometimes it can blow up in your face. That's what I mean by that.
Well,
But sometimes it can completely nail it, right?
Yeah, like last week was a good reminder. Like DFS just likes to remind you, remind me especially that DFS is hard. And last week was one of those weeks. Like I was all over Alexander Madison. I thought he was going to have a huge game, right? A lot of people did, and he had like 3 points. So yeah, could it blow up in your face? I just had a weekend like that. So yeah, but I think AJ Dillon is a really good looking running back, like that's going to get more opportunities had so far. I mean, I would have played Aaron Jones for $8,500, and it's not like he's a 100% bell cow. He played 57, 58% of the snaps last week. Jamal Williams still played 51% of them. Like, Packers are weird with their running backs. They'll get them both in. They'll get AJ Dillon and Williams in if Jones ain't playing. But that's the running backs this week.
All right, running backs done. Wide receivers.
Once again, like, there's a ton of good guys up there. You got to watch DeAndre Hopkins. I don't think he's truly questionable. Like, I don't see DeAndre Hopkins not playing in this game. Another thing I love about this Arizona-Seattle game is this one got moved to the Sunday nighter. So this is at 8 o'clock at night on Sunday. I mean, does it really mean anything about fantasy? No, but psychologically, if you go into Sunday with strong lineups and your quarterback and receiver still are yet to play on Sunday night at 8 p.m. when you got Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins. Like, it's really nice that'd be ideal. So my number one receiver this week is DeAndre Hopkins. I thought he had a horrible game on Thursday. Him and Kyler just couldn't get on the same page. He's playing the worst secondary in football right now. They still don't have Jamal Adams. I think DeAndre Hopkins is gonna light it up, and once again, it's a really high price tag, but it's just I think he's worth it this
Are we
week.
not worried about this ankle? Is that just a
I mean,
light?
there's some football players like I mentioned. I was scared to play Deshaun Jackson because and of course he got injured on Thursday. Did you see that?
No.
So I mentioned on last week that I'm scared to play Deshaun Jackson because he gets injured so easily, and then he got injured on Thursday night.
Oh, yes, I did see that now that I think back.
Yeah.
I watched him get carried off.
Yeah, Hopkins is the opposite of that. Like this, I mean, he's playing. I don't see any way he misses this game.
Okay. So we don't have to worry too much. I mean, if we get news last minute, obviously it's something to
Yeah, and then there's still a ton of good guys.
watch.
Devontae Adams in, like that Green Bay Houston game's got a huge total on it this week. So a lot of people are going to be, ton of Green Bay plays, ton of Houston guys. So Devontae Adams is never a bad play. I think Hopkins is in the better spot. We know Michael Thomas isn't going to play. I do like Calvin Ridley and Julio. I think it's more of a Ridley week than a Julio, but they're both good plays. Like there's a ton up at the top there that I could see you going to.
Cool. All right. Middle of the road.
This week, $7,100 for Terry McLaurin. I think the way he's priced he's gonna have lower ownership than he really should. I mean, talk about a good matchup. He's had, like, if you click on his game logs, he's had 33 targets in the last 3 weeks. Yeah, okay, of course, well, they don't have the they don't have the update done.
Yeah, it was not zero.
No, he's got 33 targets in the last 3 games, and like he's in this price range where like there's going to be people going through this looking at it and they're like, oh, DK Metcalf, $7,300. If you go up, there's TJ Lockett, like Stephon Diggs, like there's Galladay, I think, is above him. Like there's a ton of guys that people are going to be willing to pay for, and they're not even going to look at Terry McLaurin, I don't think. So the guy's in a killer good spot. He's getting targets. Doesn't matter who his quarterback is, Haskins, Allen, Smith for a couple plays. It don't matter. He still gets targets. So, and he's got a good matchup playing at home. I like Terry McLaurin.
All right. Yeah, so do I. I have a little bias because he's in my other pool. All right. Dark horse time. Sleeper pick.
And yeah,
what
so
we got?
I'll just, before I give my play, I will mention $6,400. Claypool is like the Canadian guy. He's still so underpriced. Like $6,400. This guy is he's been a beast lately. So it's really hard not to get some Chase Claypool in your lineups, because as long as they keep pricing him at $6,400, we should keep playing him. But what makes the Pittsburgh Steelers interesting is, like, for $5,800, Deontay Johnson's also healthy and coming back. And I just find myself, I can't decide whether it's Claypool this week or it's Deontay Johnson. And I'm going to have a little bit of each of them because I think one of them's having a big game. So instead of, on my main lineups, instead of having to make that decision, like, I really love T. Higgins right there for $5,700. That's my value play this week at the wide receiver spot. He just keeps getting more and more involved each game. I think with Joe Mixon being out, they're not going to be running the ball as much. They're going to be throwing a ton. T. Higgins, I think, is going to have a really good game against this shitty-ass secondary of the Cleveland Browns. So hopefully I can pair him with some Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, then bring it back with the running back on the other side, Kareem Hunt. Like, I think it's a really good game stack that's not going to be as popular as the Arizona Seattle game stack, the Houston Green Bay stack. Like those are going to be the pretty popular ones, and I think it's really a unique play to get in the Bengals and Browns stack.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I like it. All right. Tight ends.
I mean, I hate tight end every week. It just always seems to be like that one thing that keeps me from having a really good week instead of a good week, or it's always this friggin' tight end spot. I love Travis Kelce every week, but this is basically the only play of the week that I'm giving out that is like just purely gut play. And it's because I felt this way since like Monday. I just think that George Kittle, even though his matchup's bad against New England, I think George Kittle for $7,100, I just got this gut feeling he's going to have a good game. And I mean, it's not this crazy gut feeling. Like, it's not like I'm picking like some no name to do good. It's a tough matchup. It's one of the hardest matchups in the league against tight end. And, it's not one of the popular games on the weekend, but I just feel like George Kittle's the type of guy that's going to want to do good up in Foxborough in front of Belichick. And I don't know. I got a feeling that George Kittle's going to have a day. So for 7,100, if I can fit him in there, and I think we can with some of the value that's opened up, like I'm going to have George Kittle. Purely a gut play, but
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, I'm not going to make you explain it then.
I don't normally pay up for tight end. Like it's not something I normally do. Tight ends every week.
So are you saying that you might pay up for a tight end in some of your lineups?
I'm thinking about it. It's going to be one of those guys that if I don't play him,
because that's good to know. Like we're given the one, the top, the medium, and the value. But it's good to know. Like, do you normally go medium or value with a tight end?
Yeah. Like I don't usually spend up, and if I do, it's going to be for Kelce. But this week I got that Kittle
because the
feeling.
Consistency kind of drops off right at the very top.
Oh yeah, I mean tight end's brutal. Figuring out tight end every week, besides the few good ones in the NFL, is I don't know, game I'm not good at.
All right, well, let's go medium then. What do you got?
I think just down a little bit more. I think he's like $5,800 this week. I'm gonna go with Hunter Henry, and just to match him up, like I said that Justin Herbert would do good. And I think that one of his targets that's going to start getting on a little run here with some touchdowns is Hunter Henry. So he's got a really good matchup this week against Jacksonville Jaguars. So for $5,800, if you want to go that middle of the road tight end, I like Hunter Henry.
Okay.
And then not, like my value's not super here. Like I'm not dumpster diving with what I already consider like not like – you got to have your sights set a little lower with some of these guys. But for 5,100, Eric Ebron, he was really popular 2 weeks ago, and he didn't really come through. And then last week he was a little quiet. He's consistently getting targets, but I feel like now that he's the type of player that once he starts getting a little quiet and people forget that he exists, he pops up with like a 2-touchdown 90-yard game. Like I'll take that for $5,100. Like he's gonna have one of them in the next few weeks, so I'm just hoping it's this week.
I'm assuming this top line here on targets is just not updated for any players on Fanduel right now.
Yeah, like there's no possible way he can have 0 targets with 2 catches. He would have to.
So anyone looking at this screen right now, just ignore this top line for the most part.
Yeah, FanDuel, it's not even FanDuel. I know I laughed, but it's their stat provider. Is a little behind here, but no, he for sure. I think he had. I'll tell you right now, actually. Eric Ebron. Well, he's had 17 in the last 3 weeks, so I guess there's only 4 targets, but.
So that's 4, yeah.
Yeah, he had a quiet week, and I feel like now that everyone just kind of forgot about Eric Ebron, it'll be typical of him to kind of bounce off here and have 2 touchdowns, 90 yards, and everybody will, chase it the next week.
All right. Are we?
No, let's just build a lineup.
Are we jumping to defense? And
I don't even defense. Literally, I'm not giving any plays on defense. If you like spending up on defense, click on them for a second. I guess there's like, Buffalo's playing the Jets. I think Darnold's coming back, but
is there any like cheap plays here that still have some good value? That's probably
so
what I'm interested in.
I find myself this week in the lineups that I've been building, and for whatever reason, I don't usually settle on a defense until like Sunday morning. But as of now, I've been playing a ton of Washington. I just think Dallas, their offensive line, you saw it on Monday night, is bad. It's so bad. And I think they just announced like a couple hours ago, Zach Martin's not playing on Sunday. So add another check mark to the old fire up the Washington defense, because Andy Dalton's not running away from it. So
you like Washington?
Yeah, if you can't protect Andy Dalton and he can't run away from it, that only leaves one logical result, and I think he's going to get crushed. So Dallas is going to score points because they're just too good not to, and that's okay. My defense will give up some points, but Andy Dalton's also going to put a few on the gift list and toss a few up to Washington. He's going to give up sacks. He's going to give up fumbles. I mean, should be fun. So $3,900. So I'm hoping I stick to Washington. A lot of times I'll wake up in the morning and make a switch that's always ends up being the wrong decision. Last week the entire week I was Steelers defense all the way up until like a couple minutes before the ball game, and I switch off of them because I don't know why. So hopefully I stick on Washington and they do good this week.
Okay, well, it's on the record now, Washington.
Let's build a lineup on Thursday.
It also depends on how much money you're spending on your players too, right? Like sometimes you can give or take on defense.
I don't like paying up for defense because really you don't get points from a defense that shuts an offense out. Like, it's not about that. It's just about random ass turnovers. So I'm not paying for randomness like that. Like, FanDuel's like, if you're playing DK, not the defenses, but FanDuel is a touchdown site. You need your guys to score touchdowns on FanDuel to really have good lineups. DK, you can depend on catches and some other things like that, and bonuses, but FanDuel is about touchdowns. So, and that includes your defense. When I'm picking a defense, I'm just like, who's the worst quarterback that will
throw a pick?
We'll throw a bunch of presents. Yeah. Phillip Rivers is usually good for a few, but he's not on the slate. So let's go to Andy Dalton.
All right. Okay. So quarterback, are we going back and forth? Before we quickly build this lineup, if you're gonna, if you're gonna go build your own lineup right now, we're gonna just walk through building a lineup. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Click the bell if you want to get these videos in the future. And yeah, have a great day. And we're gonna keep going, and we're gonna just build a quick lineup here.
Go ahead, buddy. Just lead us off.
Do you want to start, or do you want me to start?
You go first. Pick any position you want.
Okay. Oh, any position. I can go.
You can go any play you want.
All over the place here. Okay.
It doesn't have to be somebody I mentioned.
I want McLaren.
Okay.
Where is he?
You just missed him. He's 7,100.
There he is. Terry.
Yep.
Let's go.
I'll pair him with the Washington defense then.
Okay.
$3,900. 38.
Good.
Better.
Beautiful. Okay. Hmm. Can we
So
go Kyler Murray here?
well, that's up to you. Do you want to go with like expensive quarterback, or do you want to go with like the Joe Burrow, the rookie, to save some money, and then it's up to you.
Who's he playing?
Cleveland, or you can go.
I'm gonna leave this one. I'm gonna throw this one back to you. You make the call on this one.
Okay. Right now,
Yeah.
let's go Joe
If you
Burrow.
want to. You want to go Burrow?
Yeah,
Okay.
why not?
All right. I'll grab a running back here. I'm gonna go Kamara. Let's ring him up.
Nice. So we're gonna have crazy amount of money here. So I'm gonna.
That's why I figured I'd start spending some.
Yeah, I'm gonna pair Joe Burrow up with T. Higgins. T. Higgins
All right.
is down there. I think he's like 50. Yeah, 57.
He's in.
Nice.
I'm using the search feature. Okay. Now you just picked another. Was he a value play
Well, he's a value
on our
play,
list?
and he's gonna catch passes from Joe Burrow.
Right. Okay. So, gotcha. What about? Let's see what else we've got at running backs here. We got some money to spend.
We do.
I wish Aaron Jones was playing.
But who's my?
Can we spend?
So
Should we go like?
So we want Cincinnati to do really good, but part of the way he's going to do really good is to have a competitive game, that high-scoring game where the other side of the ball is always constantly pushing you to keep putting points on the board. So if I want Joe Burrow and T. Higgins to do good, and I just happen to have my favorite play of the week on the other side of the ball, the other side of the game, I just think that makes perfect sense right here. So Kareem Hunt, the running back from Cleveland, I think, would be perfect to put in the running back spot.
And if I remember correctly, he was a middle of the road pick.
Yeah, but my favorite running back play of the week for his price.
Oh, ring the bell on Kareem Hunt. Got it.
Yeah. You remember. That's good.
You remember.
Just took you a while.
Thank goodness.
It doesn't matter. No one's listening to us, and apparently you're not listening to me either, so no big deal.
How could I forget? Ringing the bell?
Yeah. No, don't worry.
Okay,
our one viewer will forgive you.
All right. Your pick then. No, or did you just pick that for me?
Well, I kind of picked it for you. Yeah, you go ahead and do another one. Have fun with it.
Can we stray away from the stack at all at this point? Like, can I put Hopkins in here because we got some money to spend?
I can't see the money, so it's.
Oh, we only have 6,600
per player.
Average per player, but we have 19,900.
Yeah, dude, pick whoever you want.
I mean, yeah. Let's see if it works. Now we're 5,400 average per player.
Yeah, that's rough, but in the flex, then I'll put AJ Dillon in and hope that Aaron Jones isn't going to play.
Okay.
And then
that's a big play.
Oh, this
now we got 6,400,
which is enough for my boy Hunter Henry, but not George Kittle. That's okay. I like Hunter Henry this week. You know, TJ Hawkinson's not in a terrible spot either. He's got an amazing matchup, but I don't know. Detroit's weird. They just, for whatever reason, they don't. I feel like they should use this guy more, but they don't. So Hunter Henry thinks that leaves some money on the table. That's okay. No big deal. I like that lineup.
600. That's not too much money.
Yeah, like obviously if Aaron Jones is playing, I mean, you still
That's
got
gonna
money,
get swapped. Yeah.
but it doesn't matter. It just makes your Cincy stack that much bigger because then you go ahead and throw in Joe Mixon or Gio Bernard for $4,800, and
Okay, I was just gonna ask you what are our viable options if
yeah, that's a
AJ
huge.
Dillon needs to be pulled last second, right?
Yeah. Well, you could do a lot though, right? Like if you just really quickly, like if you take out AJ Dillon, but then take out DeAndre Hopkins and play like any other amazing receiver, like even DK Metcalf for $7,300, like who is a monster receiver, and then you can go way up from AJ Dillon.
Right.
That same
If
game, right? Just
that's
the
yeah, that's if we remove AJ Dillon.
yeah. So take out Dillon right now, and then it leaves you 6,800, and then so you're playing your flex. You got a ton more options. I like, yeah. There's a ton of guys on there. I like. You can make an argument. I love DJ Moore.
DJ
I like.
Moore.
Yep, Todd Gurley's getting it done every week. I know nobody wants to play Todd Gurley, but I'll keep taking. I mean, guy's getting over 20 touches a game. He gets touchdowns. I think he's like he's breaking tackles, like or yards after contact or whatever. I seen a stat the other day. Like it's not always pretty, but he should get it done. Detroit's
So
not.
are we pivoting here and just doing that, or are we going with the
No, I
AJ
like
Dillon
AJ
play?
Dillon. I don't think
Okay.
Jones is playing. I could be wrong, but it's a weird day to throw him on the injury report out of nowhere and then call him a game time decision. Like it doesn't look good. Like what did he do to his calf? Like slip in and out of a shower or something? Like
I don't know.
it's a walkthrough on Friday, so I don't know what he
You
did.
didn't. Nobody saw him get hurt, right?
I don't know. I can't even remember. So, but it just kind of came out of nowhere. That and the Mixon news today. So, anyways, that's the show.
All
I gotta
right.
get a drink.
Okay. Cheers.
Later.